I hate the feeling you get when you put your all into something just to find out that you put your all in for nothing because your plans fell through. Whether it's a relationship, a business idea, or some other dream, it's hard when that something doesn't work out quite the way you want it to. See, there was a man in his mid-60s. He had worked hard in life, and now it was time for him to retire and relax. He received his first Social Security check that was only about $100, and he just knew there's no way he could survive off of that. So he had to take a stand, make a plan, take a chance. It was either that or survive off of scraps. His desperation was his motivation that made him rise and react. He had a recipe that he thought was heavenly. He just knew it would sell. He put a pitch together and had a special speech that would set him free. He just knew this couldn't fail. But unfortunately, it did. See, he went from door to door. He was either told no or he was ignored. He didn't just fail once or twice, 3 times or 4. It was 1,009 times that this man's plans got floored. Now before I continue, let me pose a question to you. Name one thing that you've tried 1,009 times or even 100 before you withdrew. But see, that's the issue. We're too easily deterred and we end up on a detour. We get discouraged instead of determined, so our destination we no longer reach for. This man tried something 1,009 times, and still that wasn't enough for him to give in. Because after 1,009 tries, he went for 1,010. Now you would think with him being in his 60s, his energy would be depleted, or that maybe he should try something else because of all the failures repeated. But for him, losing wasn't an option. A win is what he needed, and that's why on his 1,010th attempt, he succeeded. His success was so monumental that the fruits from it today we see. I'm talking about Colonel Sanders, the man responsible for KFC. And it's crazy, see, because just maybe we are this close to winning. But as soon as things get wavy, we look for an escape to flee, and then we end up quitting. But why is that? Don't we realize that failure is part of the process? It's just a tool that we can use to move closer to making progress. But we have to choose to be unmoved and know that we got this. Refuse to lose as we move closer to where the top is. Walt Disney was fired. His editor told him that he lacked imagination and good ideas. Lauryn Hill was booed at the Apollo. I know that night she shed some tears. Bill Gates dropped out of college. Now tell me, how is he supposed to have a good career? Stephen King's novel Carrie was rejected 30 times in his early years. Denzel Washington had several bad auditions. Albert Einstein had difficulty learning. He couldn't focus and pay attention. Jay-Z couldn't get a deal. His music just wasn't hitting. And Oprah Winfrey was fired from a TV station. They told her she was unfit and should try something different. See, now all these people have one thing in common. They all failed, but for them, there was no stopping. They had too much heart and too much drive. Winning was the only option. And for the times that they felt like moving off their path, they just kept walking. And you could do the same. See, it starts here in your mind. You have to know what you want out of life and refuse to be denied. And if your plans fail, well, revise it a bit. Because anytime you fail, you learn how to not do something. That does not mean you should quit. So I want to challenge you to think like Colonel Sanders. Whatever you're pursuing in life, go for it at least 1,010 times, no less. Because with a mentality that persistent, all the failures that you experience will no longer matter once you've reached that one success. So what's next? Let's work. It's K-Soul.